look where I am today. My God told my parents that they need to come to Ethiopia, adopt me, and just look at the story where it's come to, and now using that to glorify God, and just God always has a plan.
Welcome back to another episode of Buckeye Revival, presented by the Walk Foundation podcast. We'd first like to thank our sponsors who make this possible: Rock City Church, Emily Tapman with the Firm Foundation Company, and Jeremy Fraze with Union Home Mortgage. Where today we are so pleased to be joined by Ohio State freshman wide receiver Bodpegn Miller. Welcome to the show, BP.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Anytime I get to glorify God, it's an honor.
Yeah, man, dude, it's so amazing to have you on. And for those of you who may not know, BP's from Mansfield, Ohio, where you went to high school at Ontario High School. So he's actually an Ohio guy here. But your story didn't start in Ohio. You actually weren't even born in Ohio. I want to ask, where are you originally from?
I am from Ethiopia, and I was born in Gambela. And when I was 5 years old, I was adopted into the Miller family, but I turned 6 a week later. And, it's a blessing to be here. But I'm still in contact with all my family over there. So I went and visited. The last time I went to visit was in December. It's just harder to go back now just because of football, It takes up a lot of my time. But, it's a blessing to be here.
So what was it like growing up in Ethiopia and then, kind of that transition to being adopted into Ohio by the Miller family?
When my mom said, I remember she said, there was a chance I get to go to America with my cousin. And I didn't really understand. I just thought, everybody always talks about how amazing America is. I was like, awesome, let's do it. And so I just went through the process. She took me she wanted to provide me a better life and opportunity. And she could get that done with me coming to America. And I went to the orphanage, then I went to the capital, Addis Ababa. And from there, the Miller family came in. They visited me, and they just got me and adopted me. I've been here. I'm so honored, and we're all just like one family. I don't see color, race, all that. It's just family.
So, what do your parents here in Ohio mean to you, and your newer family? What have they meant to you, and how appreciative are you of the opportunity to be here and obviously growing up with them? It's got to be pretty cool.
It's definitely amazing. I said it's a blessing. I'm so thankful they took me in and treated me as one of their own. And it just ever since, I changed their life. They've changed my life. And, it's back and forth. And I just can't thank God enough.
Okay, yeah. And so I want to ask here too, just to kind of dive into it. I mean, how kind of was your faith background growing up, and when did you really kind of get introduced to the faith?
I was actually my family over there, Ethiopia, are all Christians, and I remember watching a movie when I was a kid over there, and I want to say it was The Passion of Christ, but I'm not sure. I was really young, but I remember just watching it, and I was like, wow, this is all. I didn't fully understand what was going on, but my family, always grew up in a Christian, and then when I came here, it just furthered my faith as I got older. My faith grew. I understood it more, and just what Jesus did on the cross for me and you.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's such a blessing to be able to grow up, to have that even through that transition, to still be able to keep your Christian roots. And so when you first came over here, did the Miller family, was faith an important thing in their life as well for you to be able to be raised up in? Or I guess it's what was even the process for you to kind of dive deeper into your faith once you just growing up here?
Faith definitely been always something a part of our family. I think that's what God tugged on my parents' heart to come and get me in the first place. And just this transition has been good. But it's not. I want to say there's. Even if I didn't grow up in a Christian house, I feel like I would find him some way, because it's just so many times in my life, he's come and got me when I was at my lowest, highest, whatever. I feel like he's always been there for me.
What was the hardest part of really just that transition in your life? What was the hardest part of just getting adapted to just the whole new culture?
I just say it was just hard because there's not many people that look like me here, and so I had to find my people who like I had to like kind of just like research my background again, just because I was separated from it, and just like times where like miss my family over there, and so that was a little hard on me at first, but I I figured real fast that I was in good hands over here.
And obviously, you're on this podcast, VP, because you're, I mean, currently a wide receiver for Ohio State, which means that at some point your football and athletic journey really started. I'm curious, like, what did your sports life look like growing up, like when you first kind of got into sports?
First of all, like outside of the U.S., soccer is very big. So I grew up like ever since I could walk, I was kicking a soccer ball. Whether it's just we didn't really have as many soccer balls over there, so when we were young, we'd get like a big like a sock, and we would like stuff it with like things, and then like tie it together, and we use it as a soccer ball. And so I learned the game, like picked it up really fast. And when I first got here, I was in kindergarten, and my parents didn't know like really anything, so they put me in a kindergarten league. But I was like so ahead of the kids that I was like scoring like 17 goals a game because I just understood it more, and I feel like I was like faster, more athletic. And it just a lot of parents started complaining that I was in the right age group and all this, and it was just funny.
Yeah.
And I also played baseball in third grade, but I didn't really look. We won a championship, but I didn't really like it that much. And then I got introduced to football from my brother and dad, and the Water Boy actually, yeah, because I like Adam Sandler the movie, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I want to do this. And so I started playing football, picked it up in third grade, and just fell in love with it. And I left soccer behind after that.
So when you picked up football, did you find as well that like you were ahead of most of the kids and you knew like, man, like I'm one of the better players on the team?
Oh yeah, definitely. I could see. I just God-given abilities that I don't know, it just came in natural to me.
Yeah, and so I know that in high school you played quarterback, but now you're a wide receiver. What's kind of that transition been like going from quarterback to wide receiver?
It was definitely when I first got there. It was during the spring. I felt like a baby giraffe out there. I just gained 20 pounds in 2 months. I didn't know I had to get used to my body and like running routes. It's like as a QB, I never thought like what receivers had to do and like how important like footwork and like transition out. So I just had to like figure out my own. But Coach Hart and Coach Jordan and the teammates and them have really helped me out. I've gotten so much better already. I just got to keep grinding.
Yeah, and so I want to backtrack a little bit more back to kind of your high school days because obviously you were getting a lot of notoriety. You know, you were nominated for, Mr. Football in Ohio, and with that, there was just a lot of attention being brought to you. And I think, I guess I really just kind of want to hear more about really just the story behind finding your way to Ohio State, starting to receive offers. Like, what was that whole process like?
It was my recruitment like picked up late because when I was a sophomore going to my junior year, during track, I fractured like a bone in my like hip. I don't remember. It was like a Volscian fracture. So I was hurt during that summer. So I couldn't go like no camps or anything. So it had to come like my recruitment picked up late. So when I finally healed, I started going to like camps during the winter, all this, and then I slowly picked up offer more recognition, and then Coach Hart invited me to a camp. I don't think he was expecting much, honestly, because I played QB, but he saw me as an athlete, and he just wanted to come out and see what I could do. So I think I impressed him, and he's like, I need you to come back during the 7-on-7, like a couple of days later, just to make sure. And after that, he gave me the offer and just rode with it since.
So when you got the offer from Ohio State, why did you choose Ohio State?
I just say the people that's there that just makes it like every like D1 program like that level has the resources, but it's like the people that makes it run. I feel like Coach Hart could really transition me into what I wanted to be and what I needed it to be. And I've always been a Buckeyes fan, so it was all just a blessing and honor, and it just felt right.
Speaking of being a Buckeyes fan, I want to get into our game right here. So one thing we do every single week here on Buckeye Revival is just a fun little game to all the different guys and just a little friendly competition. And At the Walk Foundation, we're gonna provide to the winners of this competition at the end of the year. We're gonna provide custom backpacks and Bibles to a community of the athlete's choice. And so we got some fun questions here. We'll see how you do. We got 60 seconds,
All right.
and so I'm gonna ask the question. And technically, you can pass, but I would recommend not passing on more than one, or else you're gonna run out of guys to like. We only have 8. There's 8 players on this quiz, so I would you can pass probably up and up to 1. If you're like, oh, I don't know that one at all, pass.
All right.
But all right, we're gonna get started here in 3, 2, 1. So this wide receiver was selected 20th overall by the Seattle Seahawks in 2023.
JSN.
This is the 2023 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Garrett Wilson.
No.
Pass.
This New York Jets wide receiver has caught over 1,000 receiving yards in each of his first three NFL seasons.
Garrett Wilson.
This is the 2016 Defensive Rookie of the Year. This defensive end recently signed with the Buffalo Bills.
Joey Bosa.
That's correct. Another D-end Rookie of the Year in 2020. He now plays for the New Orleans Saints. 2020 D-end New Orleans Saints. He was Rookie of the Year in 2020. Gonna pass?
Was it Michael Thomas?
No.
Chase Young.
Yes. Drafted in the 7th round in 2017 by the Dallas Cowboys, this wide receiver has a big impact on the Cowboys and Commanders.
Terry McLaurin.
It's a good question. It's close. How many did we get there? Do you know? Maybe like 4 or I think we got 4 or 5. So the ones you missed there, the 2023 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year was C.J. Stroud.
I didn't even.
So,
they didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, so C.J. Stroud, and then the one we just ended there, it was Noah Brown, which is a little bit of a harder one. Noah Brown, but Noah Brown's kind of been a sneaky good wide receiver in the NFL. But good job, you did a good job. Okay, so let's turn gears kind of back into what we were talking about there, and so I know that at the end of last season, you actually found yourself, you like were kind of a part. I mean, you were like on the team for like the playoff run, or you were at least like you were traveling with the team during the playoff run last year.
Yeah, they had all the early enrollees come to the games and like just watch on the sideline, basically.
Yeah. So what was that like?
It was definitely amazing, man. Just really confirmed like this is a great place to be, and highest place to compete for championships, and just it was amazing.
So last season, I'm sure you might have seen a bit of the faith movement that was going on the Ohio State football team. And obviously you were part of it at the end of the season. But last year when you were kind of like looking in like, oh, I'm going to be there next year. Did that excite you to jump onto a team that you felt like, was living or really like walking with Christ and glorifying him?
Oh yeah, it was definitely, my faith is something very important to me. And the game of football is amazing, it's a blessing, but at the end of the day, God is more important. And just having a community connection as a team, it was amazing.
I want to hear a little bit more even just about your faith story. So you said you kind of grew up in the faith, and I mean, you say that Christ is like, that's your number one thing, is to glorify God. When you look at the talents that you have and your abilities in football, I guess my question there for you would be, how do you look at the talents that you have, and how do you want to use them to glorify God?
I just say, just like whatever success that comes with my talent and abilities, I just want to use to give back to the Lord, because he didn't have to give it to me. He gave it to me for a purpose. And I feel like just whatever success I have, give all credit to him and glorify him.
When you think about your relationship with Jesus, how would you describe it?
I don't know. Just it's beautiful. I'd say just the sacrifices he made. He died on the cross to save us. So he didn't want heaven without us. So he came down and just sacrificed himself for us. And just I'm thankful for that. And it just helped me like really appreciate everything and like gratitude. And he's I've had peace through him, joy, and I want the same for others by sharing my story and my relationship with Jesus, so that can be someone else that doesn't have the greatest connection with Jesus or doesn't never heard of him.
What has Jesus meant to you during some of the times where maybe things have gotten hard and you've been able to like lean on him through those moments?
It's definitely been awesome. Like just like always like whenever like feel like giving up, God is there to give me strength, and I just like never give up because I know He already has a story written for me, and I may not understand it, but He already knows. He knows He has a plan for me. I just gotta trust Him, and just like never give up. Just keep going.
So you mentioned that God has a plan and a purpose and a plan for your life, just as he does everybody's life. Um, like when you think about God's plan for your life, do you trust it?
At times, I've struggled with it. That's one of the things I could work on. But like recently, like I feel like my faith has just grown even more, and I've trusted Him more and just put it all in His hands. And there's no point of stressing out when He already has a story written for me, and just keep trusting in Him and just put it all in His hands because He understands it. I may not understand the moment, but He understands the whole picture.
Man, that's good. Yeah, he understands the whole picture because it's so easy for us to get so caught up in, all the different circumstances of our life. And, but the reality is God sees us through it all, which is amazing. And so I guess, one thing a lot of athletes can at least speak to is especially going off to college, like it's just a big transition. It's, you're stepping into a whole new environment. There's competition now. You go from being the man on your high school team to now you're, bottom of the totem pole the second you walk into Ohio State. What was that process like for you to just like when you first got to Ohio State and kind of just getting thrown into the fire a little bit?
Yeah, it was definitely humbling. As you said, you're top of the world in high school. You come in there and now you're at the bottom. I'll go in the gym. In the weight room, and we're like benching. I'm out here like struggling, and like these guys are just pumping out these reps. I'm like, man, I got a long way to go, man. So, but as I said, just trusting God. Just keep going, put my head down, keep working.
What's it been like being in a wide receiver room with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate?
It's definitely awesome. Like they definitely, they're the best receivers in college football, and that is a blessing because like you can like learn so much from them and how they handle themselves, how their work ethic, and just what they do and did to get to that moment. I can apply that to myself.
Because a lot of people do say, and I think we've just seen it year in and year out, that, being a part of the Ohio State wide receiver room is probably the most special group to be a part of when you're for the position. I guess when you look at the wide receiver group and your coaches and Coach Hartline, like, what do you feel like makes that group different than other schools?
I just say, worth ethic, and there was always talent, but I just say, as I said, just how they guys carry themselves, how hard they work, and how they focus on like the little things, the details, and the details what take you there, and just like the preparation they have for the game practice, and they take every moment seriously.
And so you're wearing number 18, which has been worn by a couple great Buckeyes, Will Howard and Marvin Harrison Jr. and you, which is awesome. What does it mean to you to be able to wear that number?
It's definitely an honor. It comes with a lot of pressure, trying to live up, but you gotta build your own story off that number and not just I just try to like instead of people because everybody always says when I put a jersey on I look like Marv, but I'm trying to write my own story. So BP Miller right there. So that's how it is.
Yeah, and when you think about your story and what you want to do just at Ohio State and your future, like what are some of your goals? Like what do you want to accomplish or do?
I just obviously I want to make it to the NFL, whatever road that takes me. Just go out, start, play. I just ain't where I can get on the field. But at the end of the day, just keep trusting the Lord. Wherever way He takes me, that's where it goes.
think that's a good answer because I think sometimes we can get really caught up in our plan for our life. The reality is a lot of times
Yeah.
God, it's very, very different than what
Mhm.
we expect, but ultimately it's perfect because, and I feel like so many times too, we look back on it and we're like, man, thank you, God. Like, I'm thankful
Mhm.
that you, like, I'm glad we did it your way, not mine.
Mhm.
And when we do it our way, we're like, oh, I should not have done it my way. And I wish I would have taken my hand off and just let you work, God. Um, but I do think, you know, I guess I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about just being a Christian on the Ohio State football team. Um, so I would say, I guess my question is like, what's it like being around a ton of other guys who are also, following Christ and that you can kind of lean on with your teammates?
I just feels good that because there's people around you that understand like what we're going through and just like the faith aspect of it, and we always have like reflections where like we have like guest speakers talk about God, Jesus, like the faith, and just having someone like you can like talk to because we're not meant to do this alone, meant to have a community, and so it just helps me grow further and just whenever I'm in trouble, like I don't know what the answer question is. I can like lean on some of those other guys that may know more than me or know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Um, I want to ask a couple more questions too, just from your. So I think something that's really unique about your story, BP, is that you talked about like your family and how like you have your family back in Africa, and then you have your family here, and it's all one big family for you. And I think it's such a great picture of Christ. I think um, just seeing like just the love within that is just so beautiful. Um, I guess my question for you is like for you to kind of be in a place where you know you have your families and you have people that love you and care for you and and you're able to love on other people and love your families and want to honor your family, both of your like I don't even know how you describe it. Would you call it like both your families? Would you call it your one family? I don't how would you even describe it?
I just say like one family, we're all just like we all talk to each other. We FaceTime call from across the world, and we just talk. Like I just say it's one big family.
I think there might be people out there who like might be interested in like adopting or fostering. Like what has that kind of meant to you and like what could you encouragement could you give somebody who might be thinking about that actually?
I just say, just go ahead and do it. If God's tugging on your heart, and you believe you can give them a good life and just provide them a better opportunity. I just say, just go ahead and do it because look where I am today. My God told my parents that they need to come to Ethiopia, adopt me, and just look at the story where it's come to, and now using that to glorify God and just God always has a plan. I just say, go ahead.
That's cool. I know so yeah, I remember I was fortunate enough to see you play in a game last year. One of the playoff games, which was actually one of the best football games I've ever witnessed, to be
Mhm.
honest. The Ontario Shelby game in the playoffs was amazing. But I do remember seeing you after the game speak to just thanking the Lord for that game and your performance. And I know you would have been win or loss for you, but um, I think that can be something that some younger athletes might feel like is hard or might feel like they might not know exactly how to do that. Like what encouragement would you give somebody like a high school athlete in witnessing and sharing about their faith either with their teammates or even with the platform that they have?
I would just say, don't be afraid to, uh, we're meant to like just share God's story with others. It is like if you're like afraid, I say just ask like God for courage to do it, and just it doesn't matter if like people reject you, but it's just like a matter of like attempting to share the story with them, and then it'd be up to them whether they accept Christ or not.
What was it like running out of the tunnel at the shoot for the first time?
I say it was amazing. It was week one. It was Texas, all the hype around it, and I just remember thinking like, I we've all been through winter workouts, mad drills, summer workouts, fall camp, and I always like found myself questioning, man, is this all worth it? And as soon as I got to that tunnel, man, I ran. I was like, yeah, it's definitely worth it. So it was just an unreal experience that you just can't really describe.
What's something that Buckeye fans don't really realize that comes with the grind of like off-season training and getting prepped for the season? Like what's the hardest part, would you say? Is it recovery? Is it like is it lifting? Is it like, I wouldn't even know. Like what's the hardest part, would you say?
I said the hardest part was definitely winter workouts, off season. And, I had in my mind, we just won a national championship. So, I mean, I figured we go a little bit lighter this off season. Nah, we went even harder because now everybody got the taste of a national championship, and now like they really know what it takes. And so we like work really hard, and it's just something that like fans don't see, like just how much work and preparation by the players, the coaches, the trainers, and it just doesn't happen by accident. It's just it's not about the end goal; it's about like the process. Like coach, they always emphasize like the process to get there. Chop wood, carry water, and so it's really just
It seems like you guys are really, really close this year. And I feel like the culture, just from the outside looking in, seems really strong. How have you felt the culture has been this season?
I'd say it's definitely been amazing. Like we were like, definitely at the beginning, like after the season, we lost so many seniors and stuff. Like there was somewhat like a lack of leadership at the beginning, and there was guys that stepped up, and like we just grew together and definitely got more mature as a team, and just like doing activities together. It's just hanging out, going to Top Golf, going swimming together, just build like a stronger connection.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, really just to kind of land the plane on this episode. I know a lot of people who watch this, they might be finding themselves in a place where they're, curious about their faith or, wondering about this Jesus guy and like, man, how do I get to know this guy? Or like, what's a step I could take? Or, I guess my question for you, BP, would just be like, if somebody's finding themselves in that place, like what encouragement would you give somebody?
I just say, hey, question you haven't taken, I say just take the step, just do it, man. It's just what God can do for you is just amazing, and you won't truly understand until you get into it. And in my life, God has just provided me, peace, like joy, and just keep trusting His plan. And I feel like so much more grateful for everything, and just God will give you the fulfillment in this world that like the world material success won't give you.
So good, man. Amen. Amen. Well, BP, thank you so much for joining the podcast, and may the Lord bless you in your future, man.
Thank you. God bless you too. And thank you for having me here, be able to share my story.
If you were moved by this podcast, we would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment down below, message us on Instagram or Facebook, or even email us at info@thewalkfoundation.org. If you're in Ohio and looking for a church, Rock City would love to welcome you to one of their 9 or 11 a.m. services. And if you're interested, please click the link below in the description to learn more about Rock City Church. And thanks again to our sponsors, Emily Tapman with the Firm Foundation Company and Jeremy Fraze with Union Home Mortgage.